All right, so welcome to Things. This is a podcast where we talk about anything, lots of things, and all things. This week we had a special guest. His name's Kieran Gibbs.
Kieran Gibbs.
He's a former student of mine and a current friend, and he's one of Cole's best friends.
Yeah, he is.
And he's finishing up a media arts degree at UNT pretty soon, and makes some films. He does some documentary stuff. He's a musician, and we talked a lot about goals and setting goals and what goals we had in our lives. And did I miss something, Cole?
Yeah, not that I know. I mean, he's, like you said, he's one of my best friends. I enjoy him very much. I enjoy spending time with him. Obviously, I lived with him for a little bit, so we lived with each other in college. If you've lived with
somebody and you still enjoy spending time with them, that's a true friend.
That's a true friend. I mean, I feel like we've been true friends for a while, and we had an interesting conversation, and I thought it went well.
Yeah, I think Kieran has an interesting Kieran has an interesting look on things, and his
family's from here.
His family's from here. He's from here. He was an Oconee graduate in 2016. Yeah, I get the years.
You
mixed
get the
up.
numbers mixed up.
Year
onset.
Year. Yeah. So anyway, so let's hear what Kieran had to say.
All right, Kieran.
Kieran Gibbs.
You got the Norman Bates song going for you, Kieran. Go ahead and introduce you.
My name is Kieran Gibbs. I am a writer / filmmaker and at the University of North Texas. I also do some short form biography podcasts sometimes. I have a couple on my YouTube channel. You should check them out. Committed Productions. If you guys are nice, you'll link me in your description. And I'm also in a band called Radio War. RADIO.
We don't promote people. I'm just kidding. Please continue.
Say RADIO WORE. You ever come to a show? We'll spell it about 8 times.
Yes.
All right.
You are having fun with this.
You're going to be really annoying.
Yeah, you might as well have a little bit of fun with it.
All day with that, aren't you?
Probably. Well, you're leading the conversation, so I get to hit the little buttons.
You're just going to sit back.
Let's say I'm for it, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm all about the ambiance. I had something kind of crazy happen to me today. Well, not really that crazy, but I was driving down. I was taking some dude home because I worked the shuttle service, and there was just this guy in the little grassy knoll beside the highway, blue scrubs, scraggly hair.
Had a gun?
No. He was just looking at everything super duper confused. And I'm just like, this poor man. So I call up to the state hospital, which is right down the street from the dealership because we were pretty close to the dealership. So I was like, someone escaped, Michael Myers situation. And I call the state hospital, and they're douchebags about it on the phone. I'm like, hey, there's someone in scrubs and super long scraggly hair. They're looking super confused. Like maybe you guys lost somebody. And they're like, we don't allow long hair or beards here, so there's no way that could have happened. And I'm like, oh, okay, sorry to bother you. And they're like, there's also a gate. So we know somebody left. There's a gate. And I'm like, okay, so nobody can
So
get
did
out
you go
any
pick up
other
Tristan?
way. Huh?
Did you go pick up Tristan? He was out. You say he was out there roaming around in scrubs.
Is he in scrubs? Does he have a new baby or something?
No, it was a complete joke. I was trying to say the crazy person was Tristan.
Oh.
Please continue. I want to hear the end of this.
Well, then I just called the Corinth Police Department and made an anonymous claim because I didn't want them to call me all day.
Anonymous?
Well, just because they were like, "What's your phone number?" And I'm like, "Can I just be anonymous? Because I don't want any phone calls throughout the day about this one person. I just want you guys to go make sure that he's safe because he was awful close to the highway and he looked very confused. He didn't look dangerous or anything. I was just like, this poor man probably just needs to go to a hospital.
And he had a bag of peanut M&Ms.
No, he had
full circle.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
I got
anyways.
you. That was nice of you.
Well, Kieran, we brought you here today to talk about goals since Norman's not going to talk about goals, apparently.
I'm all about talking about goals. I scored a goal once.
I was about to say, I was like, are we talking
that's
field
impressive.
goals?
I'm impressed.
No, I was really good at basketball, actually.
Okay, so you're not talking
well, because you were like an inch.
Oh, no. I did score a goal in soccer. I was the goalie, though.
No.
The kids couldn't. I couldn't handle it. I kicked too hard.
I thought that if you actually played basketball, you were 2 inches under the rim.
No, I was playing a bunch of kindergartners last year. I tore them up.
Oh, no.
8-foot goal, I was dunking all over them. It's crazy. All right.
Either way, we're going to talk
seriously,
about
Cole.
some serious goals today. Not
we like
the
to have fun
sports,
here.
Not the sports kind. Just kind of like what your goals are in life, what our goals are in life, how do we attain them, or what steps do you think we need to take to get to them? Fun stuff, survival, whatever. Whatever leads
fittest.
the way. Yeah.
I'm done.
All right, you wanna start us off there, Coley Woley, since it's your topic.
You don't have anything?
I mean, I have something, but
I'll start off if you want me to.
Let's say I was like,
Go ahead, yeah.
I can't
Okay,
start.
so I'd like to say that me being the oldest one here at the table,
I wasn't going to say anything, but
I'd probably also the most mature.
That's debatable.
Reluctantly the most mature. It's not really my thing, but anyway, I have just lived more years on this planet, and so my goals have changed a lot over the years. And I remember being your age, and you guys are Cole just graduated. Kieran's going to very soon from UNT, and I remember being in the exact same spot. My goals were very different, probably than what yours are, because I already had a child. So my goals at that time was just to give my kid a good life, a better life than I had, and to do something that would make them proud. Right, so it was a very simple goal. I've obtained that numerous times over, I think, but I also think it's important that you always, when you've reached those goals, to of course, make more goals. But I'm very much of a list kind of person, so I like to I make a list to make a list. One of those kind of people. I wasn't always like that. I wasn't always that person, but I am now, and so I like to check things off that I've accomplished. Or finish. But yeah, goals, that's a pretty wide area. And so I don't know what all way we're going to take this conversation today, but I would just say that those do change over time. So I am curious to hear where you guys are in life and what your thoughts are, though.
All right, well, let's see, since you started out when you were younger, what were some of our goals that we were younger that we have transitioned into, or what we thought was our goals back then, but kind of probably aren't our goals anymore?
Well, when I was 10, my goal was to be a space ranger. That's not going to happen.
A space ranger. Can you define
Hold
space ranger?
on. I think I hate to get political here, but with Trump's new Space Force, I think that it might be actually be possible now.
I'm too tall for space.
Oh. What's the height for space?
I think you have to be like 5'10".
I don't think but
I
this
was
is
taller,
military.
too tall in 4th grade.
This is like Halo. We're talking Halo Spartans.
Oh, okay.
For Space Force.
Well, it's
nonsense.
It's nonsense.
They're at least
is what it is.
6 foot. They're at least 6 foot Halo Spartan people.
That's also a game, and this
right now,
this
it's
branch
a
of the
game.
military is nonsense.
Okay, so you wanted to be a space ranger, though.
No,
And please tell me what that means.
I really liked Buzz Lightyear.
Well, I
okay.
can't blame you for that.
Yeah.
But no, when I was I think my first actual attainable goal was when I was 12. I watched Goodfellas for the first time, and I was just like, I want to do that. And so my first goal was to get a feature-length film made, which I can't.
From that young of age.
I mean, I didn't necessarily form a feature-length film, but I was like, I watched Goodfellas, and I was like, I really want to do that. Like, this is really cool. How do I make something cool like this? Because I had always written stories in a journal. Looking back when you're 11, you're like, oh, these stories were garbage, but they were stepping stones.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, I think from a young age, too, my goals were probably I want to tell stories, but I don't necessarily know what that means or how that means or something like that. But I definitely...
Or how to turn it into a career.
Yeah, I mean,
we're really thinking of careers at
when
that time.
you're playing outside when you're younger and stuff, you're just creating stories while you're playing. I think that's definitely something that I held on to and wanted. And I definitely got into politics at a really young age, too, and I thought that was something I wanted to do.
If you got into politics before 50, you were a pretty young age, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, but
He was
I
into
got
politics
into
in 5th grade.
I remember.
before 5th grade,
It's pretty
really.
wild.
Yeah, I was reading stuff on Abraham Lincoln and all that way before then. So,
Ladies.
yeah. This is my unemployment party and my single party.
And I think also when it comes to goals, looking back, the things that I've obtained, maybe I had that goal when I was a kid. I obtained it in a way I didn't anticipate it happening. Mm-hmm. You kind of made its own path, but it all worked out anyway.
Yeah.
So and so keep that in mind through the years as you're moving forward.
Well, what were y'all's goals in high school? When you were in high school, when somebody asked you, "Hey, what do you want to do with your life?" What did you tell them?
I did not want to be a teacher. I'll tell you that. I did not want children. Those were not. I think I remember the earliest thing that I wanted to do. I really loved when I'd watch a commercial, I'd always rewrite it to make it better. And so I always thought I would go into advertising.
It's overachiever.
So, well, no.
Do you like Mad Men? It's all about advertising.
Yeah, somewhat. I didn't get into it as much as you think I would have, but anyway. But yeah, I just thought I wanted to go into advertising, not really knowing what that meant, not knowing anyone that had ever been in it. I don't mean making billboards. I mean, just coming up with really cool slogans and ideas, and that's kind of I just wanted to be the idea man. I necessarily wanted to physically make the film like I do now, or the commercial or anything. I'm really interested in that side. Before it was just wanted to come up with the ideas and somebody be like, hey, here's a big check for that idea. Here you go. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know how that worked. So.
And Kieran, I guess yours didn't necessarily change in high school. You still wanted to be a film director and stuff like that.
I wanted to realistically be an engineer until I realized I would hate that, and I probably wouldn't be very good at it.
Mechanical?
Yes, mechanical actually, because I wanted to like go study at A&M because I was pretty.
A&M, really?
Yeah, man, because that
You
was
just said that.
that's what
I was paying attention to the Wasp.
say because that's
I've been his best friend for a long time. I had no idea about any of that.
Well, just because that's where my cousins went, that's where my mom went, that's where my grandfather went, and I just wanted to make people happy. And so I wanted to go there, but then around senior year, I realized I would hate that. I probably wouldn't be very good at it. My heart wouldn't be in it, and I'd drop out in like a year. So I went around looking at degree plans, and lo and behold, the radio, television, film program, well, they changed it now to media arts at the University of North Texas. I was like, this sounds like something I really want to do. And I've transitioned away from directing. I still like directing on the stuff that I get to direct, but really I would like to do anything within the industry. And I really just, my dream is to be a screenwriter, be it for television, for film, for digital shorts. It doesn't really matter to me. I like writing.
Well, this is a side note, and it's a little off topic, but so if you were a screenwriter, I'm curious about this, and you wrote something, and then someone bought it, and then they just changed it completely, how would that make you feel?
Well, when you sell the thing is, when you sell a script, it's no longer yours.
Right.
So
but it's still going to bother you, though. Right?
Well, yeah, it's going to bother you, but how you feel is completely irrelevant because it's going to happen regardless. I mean, regardless of what you think. If you want to see something get made in your vision, you want to sell it and you want to get yourself on as a director.
Also,
is it behind me?
It's gone.
It was kind of behind you, but also just to go.
I
off
will
Kieran's
sue
point,
this place.
Well, his company, Rockford Films.
I'm not the one with the company logo on.
Either
I was going to say, I was like, you're the one
Either
spotting
way,
merch. bud.
Shameless. This man is shameless.
just kind of jumping off Kieran's point too is also when you sell a screenplay too, even if you don't sell it and you are the like credited screenwriter and stuff like that, the director still has like free roam of changing like all of that stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh, I
through the
know. And
camera.
that's the thing that keeps me away from, like, if I'm going to write it, I want to do the whole movie. Like, I'm going to have a hard time letting go of that.
That's why a lot of people are screenwriter directors nowadays because the director will change it to their vision, which is their job to do, but it kind of sucks sometimes.
That's why Christopher McQuarrie, who made the most recent Mission Impossible films, he went out and made a statement like to people who want to be in the in the screenwriting industry that you need to direct even if you don't like it, because that's how you have a better chance of getting into the industry. Because when you're just doing screenwriting, it's basically like playing the lottery. Because you know there are millions of scripts that get pushed every single day. But if you have something more tangible like a short film, you have more of a chance of making it.
Yeah.
truth.
Okay. So, Cole, goals.
Goals, yeah.
How'd they change?
I mean, from a young age, I kind of like developed this sense of like I wanted to be the president because I thought that was cool, you know. And Abraham Lincoln was the president, and Teddy Roosevelt was the president, on and on and on and on. And so that just kind of became a thing, and it kind of like became a really, really big thing, I guess. I guess that's kind of like what people know me for now, which is interesting.
I mean, what's your Twitter handle, bud?
Cole for president.
Yeah, I mean, I've played into it as well. I'm not going to say that I haven't, and that's still like a lofty goal of mine, and probably still is. But it's definitely for the long time in high school. When I first came into high school, it was straight. I'm going to go into political science, and that's just like what I'm going to do. And then Rob's class came around, and I started getting my hands on that, and then it kind of twisted itself into more like, well, I kind of want to be a journalist because of the broadcast side and stuff like that. So I actually went to college for that. I went to UNT because they have the best journalism school in Texas, and that's what I wanted to do. Kind of started taking classes in that area, and then I realized, that's kind of not what I liked about what we were doing here.
Right.
And so I switched it over to what Kieran is doing and what I did, and it's media arts. And I felt like that became a whole different goal, and then with that became like political, digital stuff that I'm actually working on now, which is kind of cool. But
So goals evolve.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the
goals
thing.
evolve.
They do change. Hey Cole, do you know anything about that new Anchor.fm thing?
oh yeah, I love Anchor. I've done many things in the podcast world, and Anchor was probably one of the best things I've ever found. It's, at least in my amateur life, it's a podcast hosting website. It's owned by Spotify. It's free. The best thing about it is that you can use your tools, and even if you're skimping or low on money, you can record your entire podcast on your phone. It's great. It's one-click distribution straight to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. I can't say enough good things about it. The editing tools, the way that they give you sponsors, and everything more just makes it a great podcast hosting website.
That sounds fantastic. I think I'm going to sign up today.
We should.
Yeah, you should download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, what were you talking about? I'm going to bring it back. What were you talking about?
I was talking about how we were talking about how goals
evolved.
Yeah, from my goals evolved kind of slightly. I mean, they're still there, the ones that I had previously, but I mean, they've taken on a different turn a little bit, a little twist to it.
And okay, so the goals evolving. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, when you were in high school and then you switched to college and then you had your kid.
And so those evolved. So it's funny how your goals evolve. I know that currently my current goal is just retirement.
Yeah,
that's not actually true. I really want to.
My goal is retirement
change
right now.
I just want to get my kids through school right now. Mostly that's the main thing. But my goals really, the last few years, is I really want to spend more time doing the things that I love and get paid for it.
Goals.
Hashtag relationship goals.
All right, so you said
it could be. You're right. Goals could be literally anything. It doesn't just have to be like career goals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important to set goals. So like for me, I had never planned on really getting married. And if I didn't really plan on having kids, and then that all happened.
Wow, that happened. That hit
yeah,
you
happened really
fast
early
like a
for me.
train.
Like I had friends that we talked about in junior high. I was like, oh, I have a friend. I'm not going to call him out right now, but
Kenny.
no, not Kenny.
I'm just kidding.
Kenny was one of my former students. He said he couldn't wait to have children. He's like, I'm really excited about having kids, and we're in junior high. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't ever want kids. And here he is. He's 40, 41 now, or about to be 41. Just never even had a long-term relationship, and that kind of sucks. But
He's never had one?
nothing like more than probably
That
a
makes
year
me
or so.
feel incredibly depressed.
Yeah,
Because one of my goals is to have children. I feel like that's a great goal, and I
still young,
also
Paul.
may be 41 and never have a relationship either.
like never a relationship at all. I mean, you've dated. You in high school you did,
Yeah, but that's different.
but not.
I haven't
nothing in
dated
college?
anybody in like 5 years.
Oh, okay. So literally, I thought maybe you just were real quiet about it.
No, I haven't been in any type of relationship in probably
That's
five
probably
and a
why
half
you
years.
graduated college so quickly. It's probably done you a favor.
Well, no, I do concentrate on a lot of other things other than
Yeah,
relationships.
you were
That's
busy.
true. I keep myself really busy, but
Okay,
yeah.
so what is your relationship goal if you were to throw it out there right now?
I mean, I would like to get married one day and then have a pretty successful family life. Yeah.
You have like a timeline on that, or just in general?
I've always joked that like if I wasn't married by 30, I would just do one of those artificial insemination things and just have a kid by myself and be a single dad. But that's a joke.
Are you above like buying a wife?
Doesn't everybody buy their wife?
To a
I do not
point, yes.
support this message. I do not support this message.
I just wanted to see if I could get you to turn it right. It worked.
Oh man.
Okay, so
I have had
2 cows
somebody.
and some Yex milk.
No, I was telling you this story the other day that I have said, I'm not going to say who it was, but I have had somebody tell me, don't you just wish that, what's it called?
arranged marriages.
Arranged marriages were a thing. I mean, you'd be like the most eligible bachelor there is. I mean, they'd be selling you off and you'd just have to give them a pig or something. And I was like, oh my God.
That's
Was this one of your family members?
No, it wasn't a family.
Okay.
Oh, that's surprising.
What?
Well, I'm just the voice you made.
He does that voice. And it's
I
for his
just do
family
that
too.
voice when
Okay.
people say backwards things.
Yeah. We've heard him use it for family and friends.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
like, well, it just sounded familial.
Yeah. I
I'm
guess
glad
so.
to know that my family sounds like that, I guess.
Well, to you they do, not to the rest of us.
Well, I don't
I mean, when you do an impression of them, it sounds like that's what I meant.
Oh,
You,
I
you
don't
have
know.
you have an impression voice that you do, and usually
Yeah.
you're talking about your family.
Yeah,
or-
because that's
it's the one you use for your dad. I'll be
yeah.
honest.
I was
That's
like,
the same
your
voice
dad-
you use
that's
for your dad.
That's your
Probably.
dad voice.
Well, no, that
Yeah,
wasn't.
so that's what I thought it was.
My dad doesn't even speak like that.
No, but
I mean,
your
that's-
impression of him
that's
is.
I guess
what-
so.
how you make him sound.
I guess so.
I know exactly how your
don't know.
dad sounds, Cole. I met him a couple of times.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I don't know. That's like a subconscious thing. I guess I just haven't realized it.
Okay. What about you, Kieran? You been in a relationship for a while now. What are
yeah,
your goals?
yeah, going on 3 years.
Yeah. When are you popping the
and I'm
question?
gonna
Let's get it
guess-
on air to this camera
Dude,
right here.
honestly, I've been always open about this. As soon as I get enough money for a ring, because them things are expensive.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go for it. You're
Okay.
gonna do it.
Let me ask this question, kind of off topic from the goals.
She's not
though.
going to listen to this.
There are
so yeah.
some people. See, I'm kind of like traditional marriage thing, and the traditional marriage rule is that the ring is supposed to cost like 3 months' salary. Some
Okay.
people don't believe that. Do y'all believe that?
I think that's
I think it's a
ridiculously high.
scam.
You think
I
that's
think it's
I
ridiculous?
think
ridiculously high.
engagement rings in general are a scam. But
I think that I'm all about getting the tattoo right now. I'm just kidding.
the tattoo.
Anyway, I can see people doing that. And it makes sense, but I really think that that's ridiculously high. That if you're spending that much money, that it's just a ring. It's a symbol of something. Anything can be a symbol. So I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely did that. And maybe this was because I've had years of trouble, but I mean, our ring came from Avon. It was like $10.
Cool. So wait. So this is kind of a guy's perspective, anyway. So, but I am interested in hearing like y'all's partner's perspective on that too, because it seems to differ sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
she's not in the mindset of like that you have to spend $10,000 on me, but she wants a ring because everybody else gets a ring. It's a societal thing.
Well, if your 3-month salary is $10,000, that's pretty good though.
At
she's
your age,
also-
yes.
I was
Yeah,
like,
you're doing pretty well.
she's
at that
also
point.
not under the mindset that it has to be 3 months salary. It's just she just wants something pretty, and whether or not it's 3 months salary is kind of irrelevant.
Sure. This would have been a great point if we had advertisement for like James Avery because their stuff's pretty reasonable.
James Avery, $1,000 engagement rings, not the 3-month salary.
No.
There you go.
Yeah,
right
those-
there.
They're
And
pretty
even then,
reasonable.
$1,000 a little steep for me. My broke.
Yeah, I don't think that matters. This is the thing, especially when I think you're young like you guys are. If you were to give them something of quality, it's going to be the symbol that they want. And then as you become more successful, you could buy them nicer rings and stuff like that. But this is what I've noticed. I've noticed that the original one is the one that means the most to my wife. Like even though she has nicer rings, I bought her nicer things since then. That's the one that she keeps on a chain around her neck. This is the one that means more to her. And it's just a cheap $10 ring that probably turns her skin green, to be honest. But that's that. And I have a kind of an interesting story that's a side note since we're talking about relationships. I think creativity goes a long way when you're broke.
Yeah.
I remember one of our first Valentine's Day times. I don't think it was at Valentine's Day, but it was some marker. She's going to listen to this and be so mad at me because I don't remember what this marker is. But anyway, there was a reason that I was supposed to buy her flowers, and I wanted to get her a dozen roses. Well, I didn't know how much roses cost. They are very expensive.
They
for
are
those of you that don't
expensive,
know. So I went to the florist and I said, all right, so I'm going to get a dozen roses. She gave me the price. I'm like, well, what can I get for this amount of money? And she said, you can get 3.
Oh,
3.
yeah.
Hey, that's not bad though.
Anyway, so it
And that
wasn't
was like
bad.
20
And she was
bucks,
being real, she was like being super generous, I think. And so I gave her 3 roses. And when I gave them to her, I wrote on the card, 1 is for your beauty on the outside, 1 is for your beauty on the inside, and 1 is because I love you more.
Ooh, creative.
Oh.
And after that, if I ever gave her more than 3 roses, she was mad. She only wanted 3. So this day, I only have to give her 3 roses. And so I saved myself
you
money for
saved
life,
money.
son.
Ooh,
Goals.
Yes, right. Creativity right there.
Let's
Goals.
say because
And I meant it. So that
I have a counter story to come off of that because I was like you. I did not know how much roses were. Like like 12 or what, $80.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid. But luckily at James Wood, they on Valentine's Day they hire florists to bring roses literally like everywhere. And so on my way out of work, I went through all the different departments, snagged a rose here, snagged a rose there, and got a whole baker's dozen and just ran to my car.
So you stole roses.
I stole roses.
way better than my dad that would wait for a funeral and steal flowers.
All right, Denton PD. His name is Kieran Anthony Gibbs. He lives. No, I'm just kidding. Punked. Got him.
Cops don't come to my apartment.
All right, so you do plan on popping the question one day? Then I guess that was the roundabout Kieran.
So it's going to happen.
Yeah,
and
well-
she's not going to listen to this?
Well, no, she's not. Well,
I'm gonna send
we've
this to
also
her.
we've also had this conversation openly.
Oh,
well, this
okay.
is
Well,
one
good.
day.
Well,
this is a
yeah, and
1 day
also
discussion. It's not tomorrow discussion.
The cool thing is she
It
is
could be tomorrow,
she
I
is
actually
all
don't know.
about small. She's all about a small wedding. She does not want a lot of people there.
That's
And
good.
so, but the crappy thing about that is small weddings are inherently unattainable for me.
Because you have
Yeah.
a massive family.
Because to put this in perspective, I have a great grandmother who's still alive. She has 4 children. My grandmother, my my 2 great uncles, and my great aunt. They each have families of 2 children at least, and those 2 children have 2 children of their own at
Dude,
least.
I'm haven't told you this, but I'm super pumped for your wedding. I feel like that's going to be a party.
Oh, it's gonna be ridiculous.
yeah. So I'm pumped for it.
So out of all the friends, your friend group, who did you think would be the last one to get married when you were in high school?
Peyton,
Peyton, yeah.
Okay. And then where did Kieran fall on that list?
Kieran.
I was
Probably
toward the
about-
bottom in
probably
high
about
school.
halfway down.
I was
Okay.
toward the bottom in high school,
Yeah.
I'm just curious. What
but
you
now
guys
I'm,
thought.
I'm probably tip top.
Well, we have a poll going, and I've talked to you a little bit about it. It's about because our friend Tyler Prastic, he's recently become a father.
Mazel tov.
Past year, and so this is kind of just making fun of the college football playoff system, but it's like I just made a joke about it, like how like there's a committee like ranking all of us from 1 to 10 or whatever about who's going to be the next father. And
I'm Bama.
For a long time, we thought Kieran's number one because he's had a steady relationship going for a while now.
Right,
And you
right.
just heard him talk about how his relationship is pretty good. And so Kieran just, obviously not, this isn't in disrespect or anything. It's just like, it makes sense that, he would be the one up there because they're going pretty steady. And, they can be that in a couple years from now. But you know what? I got to tell you, Zach and his girlfriend posted some stuff over Christmas. And
Matching tattoos.
And I think he's going to overtake Kieran for the number one spot.
He's
Which
Clemson.
Zach is this?
Zach Trinham. He's going steady with his
Really?
girlfriend. They bought a
still in
$500
Waco?
dog. No, he goes to school in Phoenix, Arizona now.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. Okay.
So yeah, and they got matching tattoos. Of,
Yeah.
what's the song?
I don't know.
Say that, and they have
Wow.
the
Yeah,
song like
Zach's in
Well,
there.
congratulations, Zach. Maybe if you hear this, congrats, man.
But that's just kind of a
amazing.
running joke, like who's going to be the next father. And I think I'm number 10 at the moment, but I may get up there eventually.
Well,
Yeah.
Peyton's number 3 because I can see.
No,
him.
Tristan's number 3 because Tristan's in a steady relationship.
Well, me personally.
This is why we need somebody to rank.
I'd
This
say
is why we need
if I was
a
on the
definitive
committee,
group of
I would
people.
say Peyton number 3 because he's the wild card.
Yeah.
He's the dark horse. Anything can
he
happen.
he is a dark horse. Yeah.
Sure. Does he have a current girlfriend?
No.
Man, it's okay.
Well, either way,
So bring it back around. So we talked about setting goals, and we just kind of left it open at that. And we've talked about career things and how things change, of course, in career. And we've talked about relationship. What's another goal that you guys think that most people, including us, would set for ourselves?
I want to adopt a child.
you want to adopt.
You don't just want to have a child.
So you don't want
Say
to
I
you
want
wanna have your own
I
child?
want to have I would love to have my own child, but I definitely in the future would like to adopt a child because if I can help one kid who's in a very bad situation and like can't help themselves, I see just stories everywhere every day, and I'm like, if I could take someone in, that would make me that would help me up my ego a little bit.
I would like to say that surprised me about you, but it really doesn't. I can
Have you met my mother?
Your family, but not just that, but you have a really soft side. I think that I've always really noticed. I mean, you're definitely not the last person in the world that I would expect to say I want to adopt a child. I kind of feel like in some ways I would in the right situation if I knew the child. I don't know that I would go looking for a child to adopt because I do have 3 of my own children. I think they're mine. Anyway, so
You can do DNA tests right here.
no, we did. Anyway, they're all mine. They're just sometimes I don't want to claim them. No, I love my kids.
They're
great.
probably more yours than they are.
Probably, unfortunately, but I like to blame her for all their
Okay.
downfalls. Anyway, so in that situation, but I really feel like being a teacher though is like I kind of adopted everyone. Like I don't really ever get rid of the kids. They still come around. I help them and things like that. So it puts me in that situation. But yeah, I can see, I can definitely see you wanting to do that. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. What about you, Cole? I know you mentioned a minute ago that you had a kind of a running joke about just. I mean, you want to be a father.
I
such a bad thing.
definitely think my prime years of my life is going to be fatherhood.
Okay.
I definitely feel like that's the truth.
And if there was ever anyone, I think that's gonna be that quintessential father, it's gonna be you, man.
Yeah, I mean,
really think so.
I'm really excited about that. I do want to have kids one day. I mean, that's a big part of my life, and that is a goal of mine. I haven't necessarily thought about adopting, but I'm not against it either.
Right.
I would like to have children of my own, as everybody would. Sometimes that doesn't work out for
Right.
many different reasons, but there's nothing.
And sometimes if your kids are like mine, it's probably better off that you.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to
don't-
give them bad genetics. I don't even
Yeah.
know what I got working with right now. I may have terrible genetics, so I may not want to pass those along. But
Like just
I
being
think
a smart
adopting
aleck or-
is a great route as well to go, and it doesn't surprise me that Kieran says that at all.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And also, I want all the dogs.
All the dogs.
All the dogs, dude. Because I've found I like animals a whole lot more than I thought I did. I knew I always loved dogs, but recently, a friend of ours had a cat. Her
Can I
name's-
pre do this story for you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So this guy used to be deadly afraid of cats, and I had cats most of my life. I was pretty much a cat guy.
Because you threw one on me.
And then so I was kind of exotic in my cat stuff, so I got bobcats, like half bobcats, half domestic
It's
cats.
a little wild.
And so
That he'd love to.
I had one, a baby one basically, and he wasn't going to do anything. But Kieran was definitely afraid, and so he would come over and spend the night. And I just have my cat with me, who's he's just sitting there, he's being loved, and then I'd just be like, "Oh, hey, Kieran," and I toss it to him, and Kieran would just.
That was
out.
not how that went. That was not how that went. We were playing hide and seek. I
Explain
came
your
out,
story.
and you and Braden Vega just when I came around the corner, you tossed your cat at me. That is how that went.
Well, either way.
Yeah, well.
It wasn't going to hurt you, and you
Those
flipped
are
out.
diversely
But now, Kieran, tell your stuff.
Anyway, I've never been a big cat guy.
Yeah.
There's maybe 1 or 2 cats in my entire life that I liked. But a friend of mine had a black cat. Her name was Olive, and they got a Labrador. And the lab was antagonizing the cat. And so originally they had another home for the cat because they went and gave it to our friend Zach. But Zach had a cat of his own, and they were antagonizing each other. And so they were like, we don't know what to do with this cat. And they called my girlfriend, and my girlfriend I come home from work, and my girlfriend just has the biggest puppy dog eyes ever. And I'm like, what do you want? And she gives me the story. And I just think, and I'm like, it's either us or the pound. And this is one of the 2 cats I tolerate. So yeah, let's take the freaking cat. And she is now my best friend.
It's that time of the year where things are getting cold. There's some stray pets out there, and sometimes they get taken to the shelter. You know that, Rob, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yeah, and so
Sad.
Yeah, it is sad. So while every shelter pet is unique, some love a good game of fetch. Others would rather snuggle together on the couch. However, there is one thing they all have in common. They're all pure love. Right now, millions of pets in shelters and rescues across the country are waiting to be adopted. Do you have any experience with adopted pets from shelters?
Well, my older sister has adopted all of her pets from shelters, and without those pets, she would have been very lonely.
Yeah. I mean, pets
I
are
mean, yeah,
part
like
of the
you mentioned
family.
the cuddle thing. Like, I mean, they cuddle all the time.
Yeah. Okay, you hear that, America? If you like cuddling, and you're thinking about getting a pet this holiday season, make sure to visit theshelterpetproject.org. This has been brought to you by the Ad Council, Maddie's Fun, and the Humane Society of the United States.
Get out there and collect those pets.
Get those pets.
Got to catch them all.
All pure love.
I got a question. We are all creators, right?
Yeah.
What is one piece of work, no matter what the medium, that you guys want to have your name etched on before all is said and done, the end of days, whatever you say? What is the one piece that you want to have to your name?
Yeah. So people may not know this about me. Probably a lot of people. I don't even think Rob probably knows this about me, but Kieran may know this about me. But he's mouthing something over here. I don't know what it means. He's making fun of me or something.
You have a night directing job.
A night directing job?
Yes, and you shoot very particular films.
Oh, no.
And
It's for Karen
cut that out.
DeAnthony Gobbs and Corporations.
Yep, that is your moniker.
Yeah. So, anyways, Rob probably doesn't know this about me. But I've always wanted to be a writer, not necessarily screenwriter. I wanted to be a kind of like a novelist. I always liked that idea. Like, I go back to the stories. And I actually did write a book when I was a senior in high school. Like, I've wrote it. It's done.
I did not know that.
It is
I did.
completely done. I have been shopping. Well, I haven't done it recently. I've taken about a year off. But I have shopped that around to agents and stuff, and it's incredibly hard to get agents. And then you have to have peer readers and stuff and editors, and it's still kind of in that stage. But you still kind of want to shop it around a little bit. I've probably been rejected by at least over 30 agents. But yeah, that's something I am looking. I do want that to be published someday. I've also started other books. I haven't finished them yet because I just haven't had time. Now that I have time, I can probably get back into that, which I'm looking forward to.
Now you've left me kind of open to start my own new goal. Right now, I'm gonna post this out there. I want to write a novel and get rejected by 31 agents.
31? Well, I'm still ticking up agents here. But so you're going to have to catch me. But yeah, I've got a lot of
Where does one
rejections.
find an agent? Did you look in Dallas?
You have to. No.
On the Jujel.
So the whole agent process, me and my sister are both kind of feeling it. Kind of
She
figuring this out.
finished her novel too?
Well, she was kind of helping me throughout the process. She's English professor, and so she's always kind of helped me with my writing, made me a better writer and stuff like that. So I sent it over to her, and she knows more about this stuff than I do, and so we were just kind of working on it together. But to get an agent, basically, you have to find literary agents online, and you have to figure out first you need to know what genre your book is.
Sure.
And then you have to find literary agents, because literary agents are for different genres and different companies, and then you have to query them, and that involves letters.
What genre is your book?
Pieces.
Now I'm curious.
So mine is kind of
Urban fantasy.
Kind of.
I can see you doing urban
It's
fantasy.
kind of.
Is it YA?
It is a YA.
Okay.
It's urban fantasy a little bit, but it's kind of dystopian, but not really dystopian. I had to go with dystopian because that's kind of a big thing, and that's what
Right.
I was querying agents for. But really, it's kind of like historical fiction in a way too. So like at a certain point in the timeline, it's about there was an election and a guy became president, and then he felt the country was going in a certain way that he was loved by everybody, that he actually persuaded the government to install a monarchy in America. And it's about his ancestors after that in a civil war that happens because of that monarchy in place. And it involves swords because I like swords, and so it's
I like
set
swords.
in the future.
Sabers.
No, not lightsabers. Actual
said
swords.
sabers.
I mean, yes, saber's
Sure.
just a sword.
Sure, but it's set in the future, but it does involve sword fighting a little bit. But I'm also working on some other stuff.
It reminds me slightly of what's that on FX? What's that on? You guys know what I'm talking about?
No
Is
idea.
it the Band on the High Castle? Is what you're thinking of? Because where the Nazis won?
No, not that one. Badlands.
That's on AMC.
I don't
AMC.
think
yeah,
I've
I'm sure.
ever watched that or heard
You
about
need
that.
to watch that. It was really good. It's really good. Badlands. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but I definitely want that to happen at some point.
And
So
that, so
Cole's-
that's a big goal for you. Then.
That
Cole's
is a
gonna-
big goal for me. Yeah, I do want to be a writer. It's never going to be my day job, and I don't want it to be. It's just a hobby that I have and that I want to be successful one day.
Well,
at.
I mean, if you sold that book, it'd probably become your day job.
No. Most authors do not make a lot of money unless you're Stephen King or James Patterson.
If you can put out,
Well, yeah, but you have to
A book
be
a month,
loved.
then you're good,
You have to
yeah.
be loved, like J.K. Rowling or something.
she's
Yeah,
not so loved anymore.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen for a lot. That doesn't happen for a lot of people. Think about how many books are out there
Sure,
and how much that doesn't happen for people.
got a bestseller though. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you'll be writing some more books.
But some people are one-hit wonders as well. So you
Sure.
never know.
Very, very true.
Yeah, but I would love for that.
Salinger.
J.D. Salinger.
Yeah, that's the book that every time someone's murdered, they just put it in their pocket.
It was just the one time.
No, it's happened multiple times.
I thought it was just John.
Yeah,
Lennon.
Rob knows a lot of murders.
Kill John Lennon.
What? John Lennon's only one.
It's one person.
I know. That's what I was saying. I was
But
like,
Rob's
you know the
telling
other time
you-
the book was found, though, right?
no, when?
JFK.
That's a bunch of BS planted by the government. JFK was killed by the mob.
Oh.
JFK was killed by the mob.
Then the mob had Salinger's book.
No, the mob
Everybody
wanted
knows
casinos
that a
in
book
Cuba.
about a kid that cusses too much makes people kill themselves.
No, it's in a Scorsese
It was
movie.
suicide.
The
It was suicide.
mob
Suicide.
wanted casinos in Cuba, and that's the whole reason
He's
that they
shaking.
got
He-
Kennedy
he-
elected,
yes,
and
his
that
hand-
didn't
he's shaking.
happen.
He's shaking right now.
So he was killed by the mob. They can whack a president. They can whack a union president. Damn it.
So Kieran has been watching The Irishman recently, apparently.
Good movie. It's so
Uh-uh.
good.
But yeah, just to go off that last goal thing I had. Yeah, I don't know if any of y'all have something like that. or not.
Hashtag get Cole an agent.
So-
Make it trend.
Have you ever thought? I know you're an English major. Have you ever? And you read these books all the time.
I have.
The
I've read a
ones
lot
with
of
little boys
books.
cussing and stuff. You know.
Yeah, I've read a lot of books, a lot of terrible books, a lot of really good books. I have never really sat down to write a novel. I've written quite a few short stories. I have been published in poetry quite a bit. I've won a few poetry contests that helped me pay for college against my dad's wishes. Anyway, it's a long story.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
You told that story.
yeah, it's terrible. I don't want to use it. I don't want to do it here. But I've never really written a novel. I've sat down to try to write a novel a couple times, but I just always end up writing the short story. I can't hang in for the long haul. So I really respect you for being able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I'm not
every
gonna
time
lie.
I bail on it, I just do. It's just such a huge.
It's not as hard the
undertaking.
first time. The first time was pretty easy because it's all just coming out of you, And then, but the second time when you have to go through and edit it and what you say, and you're like, "Wow, this is the worst thing I've ever read in my life," and you're also like, "I don't want to read this again because I already know what happens."
I feel like that about every film I've ever made. Too.
Yeah, so it's the same process except with words on paper.
Yeah,
and
I
it
gotcha.
can kill you. Some
So-
people you got to take time off.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I guess if I were to have some kind of, what did we say it was? It was a goal, the one thing that could happen for
If
us.
you're one piece.
The one piece that
Your,
you
your
were-
magnum opus, essentially.
Our magnum opus goal. We were going to discuss that. That sounds like a good idea.
Your magnum golpus.
What was yours? I thought it was the book.
The Great
No,
American
no,
Novel.
That's a goal, but I wouldn't say that's my magnum opus goal.
Well, then that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, the whole
one
time we
piece
thought
you
that's what you're
wanted.
talking about. It's like you said the one piece that it was really like if you could do nothing else, nothing else hit for you. This one thing that hit.
no,
Like
I
your
think
Citizen Kane.
I think my magnum opus goal is to be president. That'd probably be it. Or have a very large family, like, you know, where like I could be like pops at 70, and then my son would be like, you know, 40, and then his son would be like 10, and then we all just kind of.
And then
together.
his son would be like 2.
Yeah, and so,
I don't think it works that way. I don't think
Science will catch up.
I don't think it works that way at all. I'm pretty sure that was wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I really have one of those. I really think I just really want to leave. If anything, I just kind of want to leave a bit of a legacy. We talked about this in the last podcast as well, like what our legacy would be, and I think I just want.
But what is that legacy though?
I-
What is that goal for that legacy?
I think that I just want to be. I don't know. I guess I just kind of want to be thought of when I'm gone. You know, remembered for positive things.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm gonna tell people not to remember you.
And I feel like
That's
that's
so
probably going to
horrible.
happen.
I'm sorry.
I think that for me, I changed my family's trajectory a little bit when I was the first one to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, you know, my kids are going, my sister's gone. Even my wife has a college degree now. And I think that I kind of helped push them in that direction.
Yeah.
So I think I changed my family a lot there. I also like to say I have a really good work ethic, and I think that's something that's gonna drive them. But also, as hard as I am on everyone around me and how I have such high expectations of everyone, I feel like I'm a very loving person. I'm always there when they need me. And I don't know. I feel like I want to be well thought of for my grandkids and so on and so forth. One day I would like to have grandkids. And no hurry if you're listening. my
Definitely,
children.
yeah.
No hurry.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
at
wanna be
that point
that
you gotta
guy.
start buying people crap.
Yeah, I don't want. I'm already still buying. I mean, my kids are
Nah,
still
but
spread
like
apart right
more
now.
crap.
That you know, I mean, I've got a kid that's about to be 21. And
I
one
think
that just turned 14.
I think at that point though, you can stop
it's
buying your kids
7.
crap and just buy their.
Yeah,
kids
exactly. It
crap.
was like
Yeah.
you just transfer to the.
Well, I know, but if my oldest have kids, then I still have a 7-year-old at home. You know, like we're about to be 8.
Yeah.
You're
So-
SOL, buddy.
I still got to keep buying stuff either way. So
Yeah.
anyway, but I really think it just leaving a good legacy would be really important. But if it's just, I guess, one work that I would probably want to be known for, I think it's some of what I've already been doing, and that is when I have students, and not just my kid, but my students, when they're successful, I feel like that I'm successful as well, and I'm okay with living vicariously through their successes. And so, if any one of you ever, you know, have your dreams all come true, sort of for me too, it's going to be. I think it's gonna be kind of magical. Even if you call me out and give me a hard time, I'm still gonna be like, yeah, but they wouldn't have been there if I didn't give them a little
I'm
shove.
never not going to give you a hard time, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean. I mean, I'm be honest with you. If I give you a hard time, that means I care about you. If I
Same,
don't
yeah.
give you a hard time, and I'm like my stoic figure around you, that means I'm probably we probably don't have a great connection.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
that
so
you
if-
dislike them, you're just not connected with them.
Yeah, we don't have that relationship,
Yeah.
and so I mean, I'm not gonna give anybody else a hard time that that I don't have a relationship with, because that just makes me a horrible person. But I'm gonna call you out on your stuff. I'm gonna call Kieran out on his stuff,
Right.
and I hope y'all call me out on my stuff,
Absolutely.
and we can all have a laugh together.
Absolutely, and I hope you become president, because I
Yeah,
think you'll
that'd
be
be
at least
great.
the second shortest one. All right, so,
James Madison was 5'4". I'm 5'5".
Oh,
Second, yeah.
Yeah.
second. I called that. I was pretty sure there was one shorter. Also a Hobbit. Anyway, so
Yes.
Anyway,
No,
but
not.
I'm not saying that I necessarily want one day for the Nocona to have a Kate Center called the Rob Norman Kate Center or anything.
Well, we're not gonna do that.
Anyway, but anyway,
We got
that'd be cool.
tons
It's
of other
been
names
cool.
on that list before
Yeah,
that
I'm
one.
sure. So other
We
people,
got Kieran.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so.
We got Marvin.
But I would say that just leaving a good legacy is really probably the most important thing. But yeah, that's pretty much.
you want Rob Norman yourself to be the work, essentially.
Okay, yeah, maybe you guys make a movie about me. Cast somebody much better looking to play me. That'd be great.
We're
Hold-
gonna
hold on.
cast.
The Rock.
We're gonna cast Michael Myers in his live action CGI Shrek suit, not the animated one, but the.
I thought
the
you were
suit.
talking about the killer for a minute. I
suit.
was like, that's a character, Cole.
The suit he wears.
So Mike Myers, not Michael Myers.
Hey, he can go by Michael.
That scared me.
Not since
But Michael
1970.
Myers too. So Michael Myers will be Mike Myers' stunt double in the movie, and then we have to figure out
The
I don't
Shrek
know.
suit.
Yeah, the Shrek suit, not
Like
So not the
Like the,
actual
He's
one
gonna
from
play
the
animation.
Donkey?
like the one from the Broadway musical.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one.
that's terrible.
Yes,
That's terrible.
yes. Thank you, Kieran. That's my magnum opus goal right there.
All right, Kieran, what's yours, bud?
Man, It's going to sound kind of silly, but it's always been a project that's been in my back pocket, and I don't talk about it a lot just because it's like, I want my Ninja Turtle movie. Because ever since Michael Bay got a hold of the Ninja Turtles.
You don't like Megan Fox in those movies? I'm kidding. I'm kidding completely.
Well, here's the thing. I really didn't hate the second one, and I was mad because the second one was essentially the one that I was writing. And the one I was writing, I was like, oh, this isn't so good. Because the second one essentially was just kind of like this love letter carbon copy of the 1980s TV show. And that's the one I was kind of writing. Like the ending had Pizza Hut exploding and Mikey just going out in front of it like, damn yous all to shell. Like,
what?
Like that's the Ninja Turtle movie I was writing. And then after further inspection, I was like, that's not the one I want to make. So recently I've started reading the... their names escape me. Is it Laird? The original Ninja Turtle comics that are gritty.
Yeah.
And like super dark and R-rated. Like I essentially want to make Oliver Stone, Quentin Tarantino's Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. I want that one with a little bit of the campy elements of the 1980s Ninja Turtles because
what are they going to look like?
You're going to mocap them. You're just gonna make them look not.
I see. In the
terrifying.
new TMNT movies, I didn't like the CGI on them. I didn't like how they.
I know because they look like aliens.
We needed to. They need to somehow figure out.
It has to be
Michael
look
Circus
more
needs to
human.
get in there.
Dude, just the way they did Pokemon.
Andy Serkis, not Michael. I don't know why I'm so confused on
Let's
Michaels.
say the dude. It's like Pokemon. Detective Pikachu. Do it kind of like that. Rip it straight from the cartoons. And just make a mocap.
Detective Pikachu, pretty good movie by the way.
And
I like
those
that
are good.
movie.
And the Pokemon look modern, yet they look like the Pokemon you know. Mm-hmm. So essentially, just transfer the cartoon, the comic book ones, like the really just like kind of parabolic snouts.
Yeah,
really comparable to the 1980s ones. But if you can pull off the puppet suits, by golly, pull off the puppet suits. Do the Baby Yoda. I might just be a coward.
yeah.
But
no, I totally get you there.
But just maybe mocap them and make them look like turtles.
Mm-hmm. For the longest time, just kind of going off what you said, if I were to go into the business, I would want to be a showrunner.
Yeah.
And there are just different shows that I would want to redo. I mean, for the longest time, it was Avatar: The Last Airbender because the M. Night Shyamalan movie is absolutely horrific.
It was terrible.
Yeah, and so, but the actual creators are coming back and making that for Netflix now, so that's kind of squashed that. But like Danny Phantom or something like that. I mean, it just shows that I like growing up.
Put that on the CW, bro.
Yeah, Danny Phantom show about that. Well, I'd probably want it better than the CW material, but that's a different story.
I'd kind of see it as like a YA, but like there's good stuff on the CW, Flash, Arrow.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I'm not necessarily into that stuff, but it would be kind of different if I did it, but I wouldn't necessarily decline that because CW, I mean, obviously if you're working for CW, you're way more successful than I am. But yeah, I mean, or like, I recently did some Codename Kids Next Door stuff in class, and that was really fun. So just stuff like that I would bring back, and that'd be something I want to do if I was in the business. But I just don't see me going that route.
Either that or my Mick Foley biography.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
I basically just rip off his book, though.
I was going to say, his book was great. I actually read that book.
Yeah, it was #1 on New York Times bestsellers list, and
Yeah.
Mick Foley's a great author.
Yeah.
Well, he was a really smart guy. I mean, good businessman, but also just a really funny, fun-loving kind of guy. You just can't help but like the guy.
Because the opening of that book, if I'm not mistaken, is his match with Vader, where his ear gets ripped off.
Yeah.
And that's the opening
Oh,
scene.
and also tough. Let me mention that. This guy's super tough.
Yeah, like that's the opening scene of my movie.
My favorite thing is that he's fat and ugly. Like that's the greatest part of the entire thing. He's like
he's
a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is so great about the story.
Also, since we're on this conversation too, I have written a movie about me and Kieran and the rest of our friends before. It's a terrible movie right now.
That's as far as I've gotten with the novel, and then I just turned it into a screenplay.
Yeah, I've written a full hour and 30-minute movie about. It's a dramatic fiction about us and our friends in Kieran's house. And I would love to get that made, but, I have a soundtrack in mind that I want from it, and we're never going to be that rich to be able to use that music, and that disappoints me. But, yeah, that would be awesome.
You get all the Denton artists to write it for you. Write
tracks, but I don't know. I just felt like those are songs that just made me think of, like, our childhood and, like, that time. And there are songs that are more personal to me than actually.
So you would say that it wouldn't, the movie would only work if you could have the music that made it possible.
It wouldn't be as dear to me without the soundtrack that
Sure.
I want for it.
Sure.
But it definitely
that.
wouldn't.
You
I don't
also
think it
don't-
would hinder the movie for regular audiences. It would hinder it for me personally.
You also don't want it to be too esoteric. Like you don't want just like our friend group to enjoy it if you're trying to
Yeah.
like, pitch a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely. It's kind of like a very bad ripoff of Superbad, but it's really different in some certain ways too. But yeah, it's not in great shape right now because it needs a lot of editing. I looked at it once, wrote it once, and never touched it again at the moment because I've been busy. But yeah,
Right.
I have
Yeah,
that.
we're
That'd
all
be
been
cool to
busy.
make at some point.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not a bad script actor.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously wouldn't make this movie without you if that was ever a thing. Obviously, I need your sign off. I need
like-
everybody's sign off.
It's like I'd take the co-credit.
All right.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about this? I don't know. Sometimes I think about this. Just kind of like forgetting all your goals and forgetting everything and just kind of like, moving to like the
Winging it.
South Island, going off the grid, moving to the South Island, New Zealand, and never like talking to anybody, living like in a log cabin.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because that
As
is
long as I get
that is
Netflix, yeah.
actually my retirement goal.
Dude, I've thought about that a lot. Just
Yeah.
forgetting
like
about
I want to do
everything.
everything that I could possibly do to get known, and then I want to do everything I could possibly do to be forgotten.
Just disappear on the face of the planet.
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
for at least a while. I don't
Pull
know
a
that I
Dave
want to stay
Chappelle.
off the planet, but stay off the face of the planet. But I at least to see what it was like.
It would be really selfish in the long run, I think. But also, I don't know. I've thought about it. I've like, man, that sounds great. But
I don't know if I could go without my family though. That's
Me
my only
either,
thing.
me either.
I'd
That's-
have to take some of them.
I
with
couldn't
me.
go without my friends or my family. It's just, I mean, it's a fleeting thought, but some people think about that, and I do think about that sometimes. I'm like, if I could just disappear off the face of this earth,
Just make off.
what would
some,
my life be like?
Just make off some company dough and be across the border somewhere.
Yeah, I guess so, something like that. But I have thought about that, and I wanted to see if
Well,
I'm
I think the best
crazy
thing
or
to do is
something.
make enough money and just tell everybody you're taking a vacation.
Don't
Try it out for a few months, and if you love it, don't come back. Oh my God! Cole
Just a
eating.
crunch of the peanut.
Crunch the nut.
So,
hi.
y'all think we talked a little bit about goals today?
Yeah, I thought we had a productive
I
conversation.
think it was good. It was fine.
I don't know. Does anybody else have anything to say after anything about goals?
Live long and prosper.
Yeah.
Never give up. Never surrender. Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, that. So, Kieran, tell these people, these nice, fine people, these homegrown people, where they can find the stuff that you create.
The things that I create, you can find me on YouTube at Committed Productions. I just recently put up another short form documentary podcast over a couple of local Denton bands. I thought it was kind of neat. Black Hole Bears, myself, and then King Turtle. I'll check all three of them out. I also make music with Radio War. We got a single coming out in February. I'm not going to tell you what day, but you can probably guess what day in February. But other than that, you can find me on Twitter at the GibMister16, TheGibMister 16, all lowercase. And Radio War, I already spelled it out for you, so you should be listening.
February 25th?
No.
Oh, see, I couldn't guess.
What's in February, Cole?
Your birthday.
Valentine's Day.
That's what February means to me,
All right.
I
Valentine's
appreciate
Day.
that.
because I don't have a relationship.
I was about
Cole,
to say.
Cole, where
Uh,
can we find you? And hey, for the cameras that are actually up to date,
You know,
you're gonna
I was
spread
going to tell you that after this was over,
Yeah.
that my camera should be right here, and his camera should be right there.
I'm
pretty sure that tried it, camera's didn't work.
crooked.
Yeah, it's got to work.
No, it
Okay,
didn't work.
so where you can find me? Well, we're doing this podcast.
You know why
hopefully-
it didn't work?
Why didn't it work?
Because this one was on this side, and that 180 rule was killing me.
You can
Sorry.
break the 180 rule.
I was
We
like,
talked
yeah,
You
about
it's
that.
can, but it
perfectly
doesn't
fine to
feel
break
right.
it. It's
Okay.
perfectly fine to break it if it works.
Okay.
It doesn't work. It felt
Ryan
weird.
Johnson breaks it all the time. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so
Knives
you
Out
can.
was fine, Cole. Get over it.
It was
Well, if you
three.
learned
Yeah,
to-
it was a
if-
good movie. 3 stars. Yeah. So you can find me Secondhand Mouse Productions, YouTube, Facebook. I do reviews now. Kieran and I just did a Let's Play of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes, I bought it off of that.
Yeah, it was I thought it was a great review. So check that out. Obviously, continue to watch this or listen to this podcast called Things. Pay me to do your wedding. I shoot wedding videos, so do that as well. Like my YouTube page, like Rob's YouTube page, like Kieran's YouTube page, and then like our Facebook and stuff for Things.
And
Yeah.
we're also going to be doing a Mandalorian review here
That's
shortly.
true. We're going to do a Mandalorian review, and then me and Rob are going to film the Rise of Skywalker review soon as well.
Right.
So, yeah,
and then
look
of
forward to
course,
that.
For me, check me out at Rob for Films. That's the number 4. All together.
Quattro.
on YouTube, and this will also be posted on that YouTube channel in the video format. If you want to see what we look like, I would stick with the audio if I were you.
Yeah, personally, I stick with the Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify's probably gonna be better. We're not. Well, I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm kind of scary looking.
You are scary looking.
Yeah, I'm terrifying in person.
You're welcome. You can.
All right. Well, thanks for
Okay.
joining us, everybody.
And we'll
Catch you next time.
catch you next time on
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some more things
Yeah. Yeah.
later.
Why would you look outside yourself when you have all of the world inside?